Hey everyone, welcome back to Redemption's Journey. I am Jen and happy 2019. I wanted to chat with you a little bit about goals for 2019. I personally love setting goals, but they can be overwhelming is kind of a good word, but I think tedious is a much better word. I wanted to also tell you how I think I've probably already failed at one of the goals that I wanted to accomplish in 2019, so stick around. Okay, so if you ever followed me through the Nifty Thrifty Lady and Family Finance Success, you know that I set goals every single year, and this year I did it a little differently because I reflected on all of my past goals, probably over the past 7 or 8 years, and found that I always like to check other people's goals out a little too much. And what I mean by that is I will look at people's goals before I make my own and think, oh, I like that goal. So then I end up basically tweaking it to fit my life, but I'm taking somebody else's goal and trying to put it in mine as my goal, and it doesn't really work very well when you do that. So for 2019, I started setting goals in late November, early December, and I vowed not to look at anybody else's goals before I set my own. So that meant I really had to reflect on 2018. I had to decide where I was comfortable going in 2019, and I wasn't really able to get ideas. And I don't want you to think that I look at other people's goals because I want their life. I have a hard time setting goals for myself. So there are goals would kind of spark something in me and I'd be like, oh, I really like that and I should accomplish that too. But this year I just challenged myself a little bit and said, you have to look at your own goals, your own life, and create from that. So I did that. And it took nearly 33 days, but I got it. I have a good list of goals. I actually have them on this sheet here, and you might be able to see that. But one thing that I found from not looking at everybody else's goals was that number one, I didn't create as many goals this year. Number two, every single one on here is something that I want to accomplish, that I feel excited about accomplishing. And number three, while there's still a challenge, because I think goals should be, it's not so unrealistic that I'm going to fail at it within the first 21 days of the year. So, except for one. And as I'm filming this on January the 1st, 2019, this morning at like 12:03, I got a phone call from my husband. And if you follow me on Instagram, which I would recommend that you do, you already know this story. But one of my financial goals for 2019 was to become credit card debt free. And I don't know if that's going to happen this year, because this morning, as my husband was going to pick my son up at a youth event, my transmission blew in my car. So, like, I want to cue the dreaded dun-dun-dun music because car troubles like follow me. Unfortunately, we did pretty much use most of our savings when we bought this house, so we are not prepared financially to repair a transmission and a car. We're also not really able to just be a one-car family at this point because me and my husband both work day shifts. So therefore, we're going to have to probably put that transmission repair on a credit card, which like literally pains me to say. But I don't have anywhere else that I could pull that much money from because it's going to be over $3,000 to repair. So that goal may not be met this year. I just wanted to be open and real with you. Also, don't have makeup on, and I'm in my office, which is newly finished, but I just wanted to sit down and be completely authentic with you all, sharing my goals this year. So let's jump into it. First, before I do that, I really would love to hear your goals for 2019, so leave them in the comments below. And If you want to hear how my progress goes throughout 2019, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be updating at least monthly, but preferably once a week on my goals. So I broke it down into 6 sections, which is very typical for me. I usually have more sections though. I think one year I had 9 sections, which is just silly. I'll never do that again. But number 1 is spiritual, number 2 is personal, number 3 is health goals, number 4 is marriage goals, number 5 is financial goals, and number 6 is family goals. I'm gonna drink while I'm at it because I got some chai latte going on right here. I wonder if I can put that right here. You think it won't spill? Let's see. Doesn't spill? Yes. Okay, so I broke this down pretty intentionally too. I probably should do like a cool overhead, but I did it. So spiritual is up top because I want that to kind of filter through everything, and directly below that is my marriage. So these two, I think, kind of then flow out into everything else. So for spiritual, our church is doing Joshua Code this year. Last year, actually the last 2 years, we read through a 1-year Bible together as a church. This year I'm really excited because we're doing memorization. Joshua Code is memorizing 52 different scriptures. I got the book. I'll leave the link below for it if you're interested in doing it yourself or with your family or even your church. But the really cool thing about it is that there is no scripture that is more than 3 sentences. So memorization kind of scares me, and I'm excited because now I know that I'm going to be able to do it, but also it's going to be a family thing. And on Sunday mornings, our congregation is going to stand up and recite the scripture together as well. So there's a bunch of different layers of accountability built into this, and I'm very excited. Number 2 is to host family game nights, and it doesn't have to be family, but it's something that we were convicted to do, is to open up our home, since we do have a larger home now, and invite people that are not only from our church, but people from our neighborhood and from different walks of life into our house to be hospitable. And I put that under spiritual because ultimately we would hope to be able to share the gospel with certain people that come in that don't know the gospel. So there's a couple of books that I've been reading on this specific topic, and I hope to go into more detail as the year progresses about that as well. Number 3 is to study joy and Philippians. So in the Bible, Philippians is a book, and it actually deals all with joy. My word of the year, so this is a spoiler alert, is joy. So if you made it this far, you won't have to watch the next video of mine. But maybe you could. Joy is my word of the year. And the car situation this morning was so ironic. I think God is like so testing me right now to be like, here you go, 12:03 on the dot of 2019. Let's see if you can have joy. So I want to, throughout the whole entire year, read different things on Philippians, study, do a word study on joy, and just really understand and grasp that fruit of the Spirit. And then finally, just to share my faith boldly wherever. I do a lot of different outreach events at my church, and I want to make sure that I'm focusing not only on just doing it there, but also throughout my life. So it could be on the street or with my family or at work, wherever it is, just to make sure that I'm doing that boldly. So I'm going to take you down to marriage next, and marriage is one goal. I usually do so many different things, like write love notes and go on date nights and make sure we do this and make sure we do that. But this year I kept it really simple because it's really hard. And it is to learn how to be a better communicator. So my question to you is, have you read any amazing books, done anything to help communication in your marriage? Because at the beginning of the year, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing throughout the year to meet this goal. And right now, the only thing I can do is not talk. Guys, that sounds terrible, but my communication style sometimes can be very abrupt, but I like to talk over people too. So communication is two ways. It's listening, speaking. Also, I think you include body language and learning like to be deeper, listen deeper than just the words coming out of somebody's mouth. So it's going to be a challenge. I feel like I could probably make communication a goal every year, but this year I really want to focus on that to improve our marriage, me and my husband's marriage, obviously. So we'll go over to family next. There's 3 goals, and I think most of them, there's 2 of the 3 we are kind of interwoven into my other goals. The very first one is to take 12 adventures. Santa brought the boys 12 adventures this year in envelopes, and they don't know what they are. He said that they have to open them at the beginning. Actually, they get to open one today, which is exciting. Maybe I'll video that for you. They get to open one adventure every month, and then we have to take it. So they're pre-planned, and it'll be very exciting to go on these adventures. So that's a family goal. We need to spend more time together as a family, but we also need to spend more like intentional, joyful time together, because we're together a lot, but it's not always the best quality of time. So that's something that we're working on as a family. And then daily prayer and devotion. So our weekly devotion is going to be the Joshua Code. We want to work on, as me and my husband, demonstrating prayer, not just as like, asking for things, but to really evolve our prayer into something that's listening and speaking and all of the things that prayer should be that I think kids sometimes miss. So we want to be working on that. And then finally, to be welcoming to others, which goes with our hosting, but to not make it like a one-time thing when we invite friends over, or to make it a big deal. Like, we want to keep our house in a state that would welcome guests all the time, so that way that if somebody just like randomly wants to come over, we're okay with that. Down to my health goals. Health goals this year are a little bit more detailed than they've ever been, but they're very, very doable. So if you follow me kind of through my 5 to Thrive journey, you know that I kind of been on this health journey for the last 3 to 4 months. And these are kind of just carryover from what I was already doing. So the first one is to complete a 100-miler. I'm so excited. I'm actually doing 200 miles in 100 days. It's something that our city does as a big incentive. It's kind of like a 5K, only it's drawn out over 100 days. There's a bunch of prizes and things, but I'm doing it with a select group of ladies from my church and like throughout my life. So it's going to be really exciting to kick off 2019 doing that. It starts, I believe, the 16th or the 19th, and then it goes until April 27th. So that's going to be like the very first thing that I want to accomplish in 2019. After that, I want to be able to move for 25 minutes 5 times a day. And moving just means that it's a more focused, it doesn't have to be a workout. It just has to be something that keeps me up and moving and my heart rate elevated. Number 3 is to be prepared for all meals. I'm actually doing a ton of breakfast prep right now, today. My dough is actually rising right now as I'm filming this. Just so that way that, number 1, we're saving money by not eating out, we're eating healthier, and we're eating at home and just having that time as a family as well. So when I'm prepared for all of the meals, it's a lot easier to do all of those things. Number 4 is to stay hydrated, and I was very specific with water and juice and coffee and the occasional soda, because I just, one day will give it up, but I haven't yet. Number 5 is to take my vitamins daily. I slacked with that last year, and I could definitely tell. And then number 6 is kind of a reward, but also for my mental and just all of that type of health that doesn't kind of go along with eating healthy and exercising. But to round out the whole health experience is to do something weekly for myself, like a home spa treatment. I got this really cool box of like 2008's top must-have skincare products from my grandmother, and I'm gonna like keep that set aside for just that weekly little treat to myself. And then I also have a really nice bathtub now that has like these huge jets and all of that. So I'm gonna try to take more advantage of that and treat myself weekly to that to relax and just refresh. My personal goals, we'll go to my personal goals because I'm leaving financial goals till last because geez, I can't believe that I'm basically already done one of them. And anyway, so personal goals. Read 12 books, 1 book a month. It's pretty doable for me. And that's actually physically reading a book. I listen to a lot of books like through Hoopla and the library, but I want to physically read 12 books. I want to learn to play the piano. We are kind of storing a piano for a family member right now in our house. And while I have it here, I want to take advantage of it and learn how to play the piano. I started a little bit last year. I got kind of scales down. So now I want to learn, go more into depth with it. And then number 3 is to just stick to a cleaning schedule. I've been using the Fly Lady system. I'm picking that back up this year. And we'll probably post some videos throughout the year on my experiences and how it's going. My financial goals. There's 4 of them, and they're pretty simple. I just don't know how doable they are at this point. So number 1 is to have a $2,000 emergency savings. And this is like strictly for emergencies, which would have been really nice to have when my car broke down this morning. So I want to get that built back up. If you follow Dave Ramsey, and I'm not going to give you a financial lesson right now, he says you should have $1,000, then pay off your debt. We need to have $2,000 in our emergency savings just because that is where we feel comfortable with. Then we're going to start hitting our debt. Number 2 is to use cash pretty much exclusively. We did not do that very well last year, and our unnecessary spending was just through the roof. So back to cash this year. I have some posts coming up on that already that I planned out because I'm doing things differently than I have done them in the past, which is exciting for me, and I've already stuck to it. And I've been using these cash envelopes for about a month now. So I'm excited about that progress. Number 3 is to track all of my expenses for the year. That is helpful for me because things always are changing financially. It's not a stagnant process. And as I'm changing, tracking our spending, I'm changing things in our budget to make it so that it's a working budget and not just numbers that we throw out and never stick to. And also when you're tracking things and you're writing things down and you're using cash, you save money. So the goal is to really be saving money and cutting out debt. Number 4 is to become credit card debt free. Like I said, I don't know if that's going to happen this year. I want it to happen. I'm praying it's still going to happen. We'll just have to see. I only work part-time by choice at this point. So that way I'm home with the boys. I was working full-time just to kind of get a little extra cash. And honestly, as soon as I did that, it went right away because we had 2 car repairs last month, and now any other money that we have saved is going straight to the transmission in my car. So I know that there's a benefits to working full-time. I'm not saying that there isn't because I've had this come up a lot lately. Like, why don't you work full-time? I think there's a choice. You work full-time and you don't spend as much time with your family, or you work the full-time and you spend family time when and where you can. I just don't think that I'm really fully able to give that up. My husband's job can be brutal. It can be 80 hours a week sometimes. It just depends on how the economy is going. So I don't ever want to get in a position where we're not with our kids and we're like letting somebody else raise our kids. So However you feel about that, that's fine. You can tell me or you don't have to. But just be positive about it, because I know that there are people that don't have that choice. I do. It's a luxury and a blessing, and I don't want to give it up yet. So we'll see how it all pans out for 2019. So they're my goals, guys. They're pretty. They're challenging, but nothing that I don't think that I can't do. And I'm excited for 2019, even though it started out with like a smackdown, drag out. Your car isn't working, it's got to get towed, and you're gonna have to pay over $3,000 to fix it. Yay. Yeah, craziness. So on that note, I wanted to just really quickly go over what's going to be happening with YouTube. I'm actually going to up my posting schedule to Wednesdays and Sundays. I have a lot of things I would love to be sharing with you all. I just wasn't sure. I wanted to work myself back into it because I took a long time off. So Wednesday and Sundays, you can expect a video. They're usually they're up about 6 a.m. So if you like the notification things, great. If you don't, check around 6 a.m. and there should be one there on Sundays and Wednesdays. I'm not committing to like on Wednesday, this is going to be the post, and on Sunday, this is going to be the post. It's just going to be whatever is striking my fancy. Some people like that and some people don't. If you don't, I'm sorry, but it's my channel, so there you go. I just don't love boxing myself in when I only get to post 2 days a week. And 2 days a week is all I really can post at this point. So that's that. My goals, you even got my word of the year. You guys got it all in this. And my upcoming schedule for the year, for the foreseeable future, will be Wednesdays and Sundays at 6 a.m. So thanks guys for listening. I am going to get this thing edited and hopefully up tonight, so that way you will have a video at 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning. I hope that if you had off today, you had a relaxing day, and were able to think about where 2019 might take you. If you didn't have off today, I hope that you had a wonderful day. I'll leave my playlist below of how to set goals, how I actually used to set goals. It's changed a little bit. I might update that one day. But if you're interested, and anything that I talked about that might be a product, like the Joshua code, it's linked in the description box below. It's an affiliate code, which means that I do get a kickback from Amazon from it. It's not much, and most people don't use the codes, so the links, so it's really not a big deal. But it doesn't charge you any more money, just so you know. But you probably already know because you've probably watching more YouTube videos than just me. Until I see you on Sunday, have a wonderful week, and follow me on Instagram if you want to see a little bit more of my daily life and interactions. Bye guys.